going back to Wenatchee, Dad he raised some orchard all right, and he also had milk cows, but one of the bigger things he done around was break horses for everybody.
Yeah, he did.
And he had several pretty wild teams, plus what he broke for everybody else. And then when we went to Wenatchee, he had this team of horses, and they were pretty skookum horses, and they're pretty wild. And he was pulling, when he was building that dam down there, that was what's the dam down in Wenatchee? The what?
Ross Island.
Rock Island Dam, yeah, they're building Rock Island Dam, and he was pulling cars down this track for switching with that team. He done that every day, and one day this team run away with him, and he couldn't reach the lines, and the double trees tripped him, and the hook went right through his hand, right through his foot here, and come out on the bottom, and it drug him down the railroad track over 2 miles, and he held his hands under his head like this, and he wore all the hide off his back and off the back of his hands and all his legs, I remember we went to see him in the hospital, and he was just one big bloody mess. He was in the hospital for probably 2 months of that.
Yeah, he was.
But he was drugged just by that foot.
I remember the story of that.
That cord in the back of his...
Yeah, I went through that cord, that's what held on to him, and it pulled his shoe off, and they just drug him down that thing, and he would dig his elbows in once in a while trying to hold himself up, and his elbows was wore clear out on his both elbows.
It's a wonder he ever healed up good like he did.
They run themselves out. They finally stopped themselves.
Mostly over rock.
It was right down the railroad track. It was filled with rocks.
According to his history, he said he worked for the Great Northern Railroad.
Yeah, and all he was doing was switching these cars on a sidecar.
With the horses.
Yeah.
But you stop and think of all these things he's gone through. How much did he weigh when he was born?
About 2 pounds. He kept him in a shoebox.
I think he said 3 pounds and 2 ounces on it.
And he was a cripple until he was baptized.
Yeah.
And yet he raised these 12
He said he never
kids.
would be able to walk right.
Right.
And I can remember there on Hungry Hill, though, he used to, he'd get up and milk his cows. I don't know how many cows he had, but he'd milk those cows, put up the hay, go back and take care of his team at night, milk the cows again, and he worked at least 16 to 18 hours every day.
Oh,
and that was 7 days a week.
Most of my life, I remember him doing that. So when he was right here in Grand Coulee, he worked on the night shift, the graveyard shift, and kept two jobs besides.
Yeah.
He always owned a truck. He kept a gravel truck, 1.5-ton truck for quite a while that he hired out to the contractor. And then he always had a flatbed, and he used to haul lumber and wood and move people and furniture.
Yeah. I'll never forget. Okay, this is the time when he was working so hard, right here in Grand Coulee. I'll never forget the time these do-gooders decided he had a big family and he couldn't afford to give them a Christmas.
No, that was when Andy was born.
Yeah.
Just before Christmas.
So they come in with the station wagon and they start unloading all these dolls and these toys. And man, I mean, they look great to us, you know.
Big
He'd
turkey,
come
all
out
kinds
there
of
and
groceries.
he jumped on those people. You never saw anything pack up so fast.
man.
Now, I was pretty little, you know. But those things went back in that station wagon so fast, and those guys are there. He says, when I can't take care of my family, he says that's going to be a bad day.
Yeah, Dad and Mother were always very proud, and they wouldn't accept any kind of handout from anybody, no matter how good the intention. And I know that a lot of times we children suffered to some degree because of it, whether we wouldn't have died or anything like that, you know, and we didn't absolutely go hungry, but I know I can remember
nicer sometimes.
some of the times I can remember Mother having nothing to make for me a dress to go to start school with, but an old black satin dress of hers. Now this was when we were in Winthrop during the Depression, and don't you think I was ever embarrassed to have to wear that old black satin dress to school all winter and nothing else. And when she would not accept any clothing of any kind to make over for her family from anybody else. Yeah. And it was just, to me, that was idiotic pride, you know, to do that. Yeah. But they wouldn't. That was their pride.
She accepted it later, though, because I remember when I was about the 6th grade, I had a green silkish dress that some aunt from down in Boise had sent up there. It was a woman's dress, and I was a little girl, and I hated that dress, but it was the only dress I wore for
One of the biggest days of my life was when I finally got rid of the dashboard overalls. Got a pair of waist pants and a belt, and I was in 8th grade when I got that. First time I didn't have a pair of dashboard overalls.
That was the time you grew up.
Remember when Dee was
you had bib overalls, but I had knickers.
Yeah, I remember some of those.
Knickers and a white cap.
I remember when I got it.
And when I got out of the 8th grade, I got myself a pair of jeans and I got rid of the knickers. I grew up, boy.
I always remember when Mom spent some good hard-earned money buying Dee his first pair of knickers. I think he must have been about in the 1st grade, or maybe I was. And she was so pleased that she could buy him those knickers. You know, just below your knee and a big buckle on the side. And I can remember that kid taking them things and just throwing them across the room and said, I'm not wearing those sissy britches. She was so disappointed. I don't know whether he ever wore them or not, but I can always remember
One of the big events of my life was right here in Electric City, too, when I got a bicycle that Dee and Bill had gone through, and they had repainted up and gave it to me for Christmas, and that was the biggest thing that ever happened to me. Man, that was a big day.
Was that the one that you broke yourself over?
Yeah, that's the one
that was mine. He done that with. It wasn't given to him. He just took it. Had a broken gooseneck in it. He come down over the hill. Of course, I had to tighten down so it would work. See, and he come down to this hill and he hit that sand at the bottom, and he still had the steering wheel, but the wheel turned right along this. It flipped him over and it broke his collarbone and had a concussion. And I remember he come in there and blood was running out of his ears. He was,
I spent quite a while in the hospital.
Yeah,
anything to get out of work.
Oh yeah, he do it.